Entering presence. Loading.
Say hello to my little friend. Scarface reference. So I have been playing Fallout 4 for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. And today I would like to give you guys a introduction to my base, an overview of some of my previous bases, a description of my character, and perhaps in this video or the next, the daily grind. This is my base currently, here in the Cranberry Bog, which is nice and close to the typical scorchbeast battle. We have Watoga here, Sugar Valley, or Sugar Grove, not too far away, and Robco Research for a good event there, and of course Lucky Hole Mine here for lead, and West Tech Research Center for super mutants, legendaries, and because of my character's loadout, grabbing weapons for steel. Here is the current base, and we can do an overview of this base and what I like about it and why I built it the way I did. But first, let's look at some previous bases. Oop, that's not what I want. We want the gallery. So previous bases, I've taken a lot of pictures. This is, of course, the character that I ran with since the beginning. I've made another character, but I haven't leveled him up very much at all. And let's see. This is the very first base that I built, and you'll notice I was attempting to circumscribe my crops and keep them safe from intruders. And if you're watching this video, you're likely familiar with Fallout 76, and you understand the futility of trying to do that. So even though I circumscribed this area of crops, the things would spawn in here nevertheless. So that was a lesson learned. But nonetheless, we have kind of playing around with the structure, seeing what we can do with the foundations and the roofs and how things snap together and build up. Here, trying to have a little landing up to the second floor. Some interesting design of the architecture, and the first initiative that I had in building was because I knew I could move my camp. My first goal was to build camps around these power line structures so that I could easily move it from power line structure to power line structure, assuming that all of them would have a similar layout. But of course, the elevation of the underlying ground is not always the same, and when you move and blueprint your base, it doesn't necessarily move that easily. But nonetheless, I really do like building around these because it's very interesting. So this power line structure is just east of the first overseer's camp. If you go over this hill and go down, it's right there by the overseer. So the first build, not a lot of high-level dangerous enemies around here. Don't need a lot of defense. Beginning of the game build. Again, trying to build around this power structure and playing around with the walls and roofs and foundations and whatnot, seeing what they are capable of doing. And some other things as well. And some nice pictures here. I like this guy. Some little interesting things that the developers of the games have included to make the journey across Appalachia more interesting. Here we have a flatwoods monster. And I like this little picture here. It kind of gives us a story, if you want to assume, behind it. I took this picture because I developed a little story. Perhaps this poor survivor had some flowers for his beloved mannequin and died waiting for this fictitious woman mannequin to come back to life. A confused wastelander, so to say. And again, if you guys are watching this video, perhaps you are familiar with the building troubles of Fallout 76. So this was my next stage, the evolution of this first base. And I did not get a lot of good pictures of it because I wanted to extend this out and have this foundation extended out to kind of finish it off and make it interesting as it looks south to the crops in the field back here. But as you can see right here in the foreground, that classic trouble of Fallout 76 building where if you snap the stairs to floors or foundations, sometimes they glitch and it's really difficult, if not impossible, to undo that. So I had to completely move this base and restart. I think somebody's shooting at me. I heard gunshots. All right. I didn't see anybody there shooting at me. So let's continue. Yeah, so this build I really liked. Again, the kind of evolution of the first build, adding the brick layout, moving it around. We have a bar here on the first floor, and over here, vendor, water purifier, and I had workbenches around the porch. So I like the concrete here, the wooden foundations to give a feel of a solid building with a porch around it, a bar inside, and a living area, and the Mothman guarding everything. And I was really trying to organize it so there was some sort of geometrical incorporation of this power structure. I really feel like there's some way to build within here, maybe some sort of interesting thing up into the power structure. So I really like these things because they provide a challenge to building. But yeah, again, here in this first build, we have a bar down here. Unfortunately, again, because of that glitch, I wasn't able to finish this and get the original pictures. Again, vendor over here, vendor over there, water purifier there. This setup right here is what I've almost always used. I think it is sufficient and the best way to have water at your base. 2 water purifiers within this one foundation. They squeeze just barely in there. One of them may kind of stick out the side. So by slapping a wall up here, roof, walls down, half wall through the floor or through the ground, you can encase the water purifiers, and I never really have a problem with them getting attacked. And back here we have a little barbecue area. The Vault Boy looking up at the flamingos waiting in the pool here. I like the design of this roof. This is where the players would spawn in, and they could run up this ramp up to the Mothman. If players are not familiar with the Mothman, they almost always hit that statue. It's a fun statue. One of the best Atom Shop purchases. It adds to the base. I always incorporate it, and it goes along with the character, which we'll get to later. Again, I like these roofs. It's a lot more interesting than the flat roofs that I have now. In this area, because of this roof structure, it really makes an interesting living area up here. And this screen floor provides a look down onto the bar. So if you're a bar owner, you've got your living area up here, and you can always be there for your bar goers. And here we see this structure. One of the most interesting things about this build, again, I like, is the roof structure and this ramp that goes straight up to the Mothman facing south. And if I had finished this build, it would have been some crops out here. And I like these lions with the spotlight kind of guarding the entryway into the base. And of course, there was no bathroom or anything in the space. Throw a outhouse there in the back. This is the further evolution of the base. And here we see the crops back here. And again, Vault Boy looking up at the flamingo in the fountain. So visitors would need to come. They'd spawn in here and they'd have to run around, run up the ramp into the vending and the workbenches there, and then they can run up the staircases to the second floor with the bar up on top and the living area here. So again, this is where I got to trying to build into this power structure. So I tried a lot of different techniques to try to squeeze in walls here and try to get things lined up so that perhaps you could have maybe, in the end, what I was really wanting to do is kind of have an elevated UFO that was perfectly balanced in here. But this is not an easy thing. You will notice here that the floors can line up perfectly in this area here at the top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 floors and then a half floor here. So this square in the power structure, power line, whatever it's called, is exactly 4.5. It can squeeze right in there, but if you try to build walls up, it's really buggy in how it feels and how you can kind of get around and enmesh things. And the trick to doing this is, we get a good point of view. Let's, here we go. If we get the trick is having this staircase in the foundation. So you start off with a foundation down here. You just kind of eyeball it. You throw some stairs up, and the stairs you connect a floor up here, and try to get it as lined up as possible. Run it out, and then if it's not lined up correctly, then you go back, take it down, tweak the foundation, throw the stairs up again until it's just lined up so that you can fit in this perfect area. So this is the first build. Again, here you have the entrance, the water purifiers again in this 1x build. Going in here with the workbenches. Of course, early on in the game, this is the first power suit, the excavator, workbenches, some decorations to give it a kind of garage feel. Vendors over here, power generator back there. Up here, the bar. These were some of the first Vault Atom Shop purchases that I got. Nice area with a bar and a grand piano. Nice flooring. Gave it a good feel. And here again, this structure. Now we've got the Corvego water purifiers, which again I think are a nice addition to the camp. Mothman is now inside, watching over the sleeping player. Here again, you see this clean line going around this area. So if you do want to build in this, in these power structures, know that this top thing here is 4.5 floors or foundations or roofs or whatever you want to call that area. Here's a nice shot. So those are the first couple bases. And then there's a nice shot of the same base. I like these oil lamps. And this is my next base. I recorded. I did not publish or anything. The videos. This is my second location here. Lucky Hole Mine, Watoga down there. Currently, my base is probably somewhere around there, overlooking the Cranberry Bog. You'd see the scorchbeast is down there. Of course, you can't see it from my base, and you can't build around Lucky Hole Mine. I'm not sure if you can build up here. I forget where I took this picture exactly. Some people may build up there so they can look down upon this whole valley and see the bombs come in and hit the fissure sites. But people often build here because of this nice water resource, and it is close to Lucky Hole Mine. There's this building feel. I liked it a lot because of these rock features blend in nicely with the foundation. So I'm sure a lot of people have built in here to kind of give it a Frank Lloyd Wright feeling of incorporating the environment. So in this build, there was a little pool there, and the way that the foundations ramped up and around the rocks, and you'd see kind of rocks sticking out of the inside with a pool. So again, this kind of incorporation of the environment to give it a nice integration into the environment. And I redid this build. So this was all open. This is just one big open. There wasn't two separate floors. The first floor was, the roof would run back to the workbenches back there, and you'd have just a wall up to the first roof, and that ramped up. So down here you'd have two walls and then the roof up, but back there it's just one wall. Workbenches, vendors, big open pool, dining area, relaxing area, whatever. So this was originally all big and open, and then I took off the second floor and I put a bedroom up there, and this is where I had decided upon the apparel and the characterization of the characters as the mechanist. And this is a picture I really like because of the implication of this environment. You'll see now my character has a kitty backpack, Mr. Pebbles backpack. So the kind of cat playing with a mouse over the bed with the alien probe on display, and the letters saying, "Shh, relax." And of course the mechanist has his kind of rope there, and on the display we've got some handcuffs, Mr. Fuzzy grinning maniacally, and the Fanache mask looking creepy and a little bit sadistic. So here this picture is trying to create an artistic feel for the base and let the visitors enjoy the design. Here's a better picture of the same. And of course, if you have these displays, one of the things you can do is some of the lights you can kind of drag in there and roll it around until you hit just a spot right, and you'll have a light within the display case as if it's purposefully put there. I think, yeah, so those are my original bases, and then that brings us to my current build here in Cranberry Bog. So here we are. So let's talk about this build a little bit, what I like about it. Again, this idea, so I talked a little bit about incorporating the environment. So if you run along my base here, it's along this highway. One of the reasons I chose it is because I had gotten the, well, now it's a Santatron, but whatever it was originally called, this guy rummaging around. Now you can tell he's mine because he's a Santatron. But I like the idea of him rummaging around outside of Watoga, where there's other robots wandering around. And I like being close to the fissure sites, Watoga, and all the other previous things that I mentioned. So that's kind of one of the reasons I chose this location along this highway. And then you'll notice some of the decorations that I've incorporated are meant to meant to be not explicitly part of my camp. You may not assume some of these things, or you may assume some things that are not part of my camp are part of my camp. So, for example, these street lights here running along the road, and the power lines running from that pole to that pole, all seem to work together. Or you might think that this signpost here is part of my camp when it's not, and that's not part of my camp. And this is, even though it's works with the environment. So these telephone poles running the electrical line from this pole to the street light, to the street light, up to that pole. So you'll see this power connector right there. Maybe I should change that to a red rocket. No, that would be more less transparent. And kind of missile launchers up there. That's one of the things I really like, is that slapping these missile launchers up there, there's no danger of this pole being destroyed and having the missile launcher fall down, which is, of course, always part of the problem, either because it doesn't work or because when you replace it, it doesn't go back to where it was originally. So, for example, these like spotlights and many other things is parts of the video. So there's supposed to be a spotlight right there, but because I repaired it through my camp, it is not, you can't see it. And I don't want to take all this down and rebuild it just so that the spotlight's there, at least not at the moment. So incorporating into the environment, and again, these billboards seem natural alongside the road. We've got a billboard over there, billboard here, street lights, this sign, and the telephone poles and the lines all seem to blend in with the environment. I'm not sure if it's necessary that people spawn in kind of north of your base. I guess the second base, they would spawn in from the west, but of course east of that base was water, so I'm not sure how the game calculates where people spawn in. But I do know I spawn in over here, and most players, if I catch them, they usually spawn in here. So when you first get to my base, you see a billboard over here. You see some arrows directing you over here. The billboard here, you've got the big scorchbeast, mounted scorchbeast here, mounted Mothman here. I like the implication that these are kind of two sides of the same coin. That is the outgoing energy of the maybe the scorchness of the sun, and then the darkness of the moon, something like that. And here, of course, this little area is dedicated to the Mothman. So my character associated with Mothman, Mr. Pebbles, the Silver Shroud, because of his build and perhaps his backstory. But here we have Mothman, little tent. Perhaps there's some prayers or some dedications going on here, and they're kind of chanting with the candles there, helping them perform their rituals. And like I said, most people, if they're not familiar with the Mothman, or just because they like the statue and hitting it, this is always part of my base. That is a cool statue. And of course, the Mothman effigy, the biggest one here. I really like this position in the camp because, one, there were trees here. So that was part of one of the solutions, is right here you've got this log. You can still grab the wood. But previously, this whole area had trees, and I just didn't like them. And all these effigies are, of course, now built out of rough wood that nearly rotting and twisting up and coming out of the ground. So as if the trees were cut down and these things replaced them. Additionally, this area in the base, it is the darkest area. It's the most shaded. It's the northwest quadrant of the base. So this would be the natural position of a kind of Mothman dedication, and the scorchbeast appropriate facing north from the south, perhaps indicative of the scorching solar energy. But of course, here in Fallout 76, the scorched nuclear energy. So if you go to the right, that's what you would see. One of the interesting things about this camp, I've tested this out with some other campers that are not part of camps, these bungalows. So if I spawn into my base and I just need to hit up my workbench, I can just run through right here, and I'm in it. Again, I don't know if that's universal or if it's how I've positioned this, maybe over this stump. But yeah, that's really nice. So you can go right, you can see the Mothman dedication, or I can. Most people don't assume you can, so they run around. I had a player running back and forth and jumping back and forth when he visited my base, and doing this, being like, how did that happen? But yeah, most players don't recognize that. And of course, here we have the light kind of directing you over here to the garage sale. I should get better. I like the bigger, more bubbly things, but I think maybe this might fit the style of this base a little bit better. Of course, it's a garage sale, or as back home we like to affectionately call it a garbage sale. So moving here, we see the Santatron pod here located, so he can come out and fit in with the environment as if he's part of the game and not my own placement. So here we have the garage sale. I jumped over it. Not everybody's going to jump over it. You can come in these nice, clean, white picket fences. Come in here in the garage. Now we have in the Adams shop the new red rockets. Bum, 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 bum. It's amazing. This has to be a psychological trick. Malls and everything else use the same music to lull us into consumerism. Yay! So here, if the Adams shop wanted to pop up, I would show you the new thing. You guys are probably familiar with the red rocket. I might be able to replace this, but this is good enough. The garage door here. One of the things I like is a subway lamp here in front of the garage door. Seems as if it should be part of it and lights up this area nicely during nights. It is kind of a pain to get on there just right. When you try to place it, it's, like many things like these are also very, very difficult to place just right. So here you come in here, you see the garage sale. The terminal is as if it's a cash register that's in charge of counting the whatever you're buying. It'd be nice if I could put my forager guy over here easily and have it look natural. Here in the garage, decorated like a garage sale, these whatever these are called, shelves, work well with the displays, getting them in just right. It seems as if, it's all set up to sell stuff. And you can kind of put some stuff here. This is difficult to get just right on these shelves. You can't really get it underneath. The same with this guy. That's about as far as you can
This unit
go.
will not be exotic.
And I've had some more things around here, but I'm always trying to do different stuff and having to limit my budget. As you can see up there, it's nearly full. And some of the more interesting atom shop purchases. Atomic, nuclear war. All these weapons on display, except for this guy and this guy. So this one, this one, this one, and this one, of course, are all weight reduced. And these are really nice weapons. If my build was a bloodied build, I would love to run with this guy as well as this guy. But of course, I don't know if they fixed it. This is an awesome weapon. I've taken off the mods so that I could put it on display, but of course with the ultrasight and the better things to put on plasma, it just tears through scorchbeasts. I don't know. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know if they fixed it so that you can mod it and have it weigh less. I just took them all off and threw them up on the display. Yeah, so here, some things. If I can fit in atom shop purchases, those are mostly what's on display. So these statues, of course, are atom shop purchases. I like the classical column, I guess. There's what's called right there, with the statues atop, kind of guarding the area. I think I've faced them the other way before, as if they're kind of looking over each gate. But I like them facing the middle with this guy here. I don't know if other people see this, but I always see a face when I look at this, as if we have an eye, a nose, a lowered ear, and a mouth, as if that's the kind of right side from my perspective, or its left side of its face, and the opposite side. I've tried putting them together. Maybe, that might be interesting. But they don't, it's really hard. I've tried some different methods. Maybe if they were sitting on top of each other and they got destroyed, you get it to make it look like one big face. But these are some of the many things that you can decorate your campus with, or your camp with. These are some of my more favorite items to display in my camp. Over here, you'll see again, as I mentioned, the alien probe. Now it is advertised as gently used, a gently used alien probe. I'm sure that will fascinate and intrigue visitors. Most people don't notice it. They just run in, they go to the vending machine, and the vending machines here, I'll sell guns. Here I did have a different, I had the technological museum display on here. So I had guns, plans, and then I've put a Slocum Joe's, or whatever its name is, thing here to indicate that we have recipes here. I think these are, for me, it's the prettiest way to decorate the vending machines, make them interesting, visually appealing. But now I've changed the posters. Shit. Yeah, so this is one of the problems with don't shoot it yet. I gotta switch out my perks. I don't know if it's a problem or a benefit. Let's see here. Don't need that, don't need that. Let's do, I don't want to put on my power armor. Okay, where did he go? Huh. I think it was a legendary. Did he just disappear? Yeah, but this location, there's a scorchbeast will spawn out. Oh, he went all the way over there. Wonder if I can tag him. There you are, friend. Maybe I should go out there and fight him. Yeah, so this character, we'll get to that in a little bit. One of the benefits is that I can run with practically infinite. Damn it. Of course. Yeah, so I don't know if you consider that a benefit or a danger. Here we got a over encumbered. Legendary. Obligatory check. Oh, I've got to get more circuitry and screws. Yeah, so they do come up, and I had a ton of screws. I literally had. Oh, that's what I need, circuitry. I have not been grabbing phones lately. Let's eat and drink something. Oh, that's not going to help. So let's keep that. Let's. All right, we'll do that for now. Where was I? Over here, talking about my displays. Yeah, so yeah, putting these displays on here, I think, are the best solution to
Evaluating naughtiness.
Decorating the vending machines. And again, previously I had museum technology here and a Slocum Joe's, so that it indicated guns, plans, recipes. Of course, you could do it different ways and have the typical kind of signs that say that or letters that say that. But again, I think this is more visually appealing. So around the base, you have some coordination of displays here, like the implication that the Silver Shroud needs you as the missile launcher protrudes out, and she's amazed with the presentation of this wondrous gun in this kind of receiving way. So if you go around my base here, you'll see coordination of things that are not necessarily explicit. You kind of have to enjoy it and kind of see the connection. The same thing over here. The woman contemplating the rapture by the lizard man, thinking, is that something that I want? And here, here we have the desk kind of holding up the picture and the power generator back here. And part of the garage or garbage sale, again, motif is these displays and selecting these, organizing these different things. These are, some of my more more interesting, in my opinion, items that I've picked up. I like the not Hello Kitty, Mr. Fuzzy. I forget what this thing's particularly called. Hat and Mr. Fuzzy there, and a nice globe. The clean globe actually sits slanted. It's kind of off its hinge, and this antique globe is actually straight up. And Nuka Shine, that's a nice bottle. The Stealth Boy Mark III is interesting. But we have Spoiled Food is not very interesting, but I like these well-preserved pies. And I include the Spoiled Food because we have here a kind of Mr. Fuzzy hat food result. Same thing here. Not Mr. Fuzzy, but alcohol hat food result. So perhaps the implication is that if you have Mr. Fuzzy, if you have this manic desire that is suspiciously happy on your mind, perhaps your appetite is to consume something delicious and obtain the world. Whereas if you have a desire to consume Nuka Shine, in fact, you have an appetite for something that is spoiled and rotten, and you will disappear. So that's just maybe one interpretation, but it is a clear kind of parallel structure here, at least with the two middle hat food. Then over here, moving on from the garage or garbage sale, we have the nice little mural here. Again, these weapons are some of the best. I have yet to get the Raider reputation up to the new Uber Gatling gun or whatever it is. But Plasma Caster, I've unlocked that and the mods to it. So some of my mini weapons are Plasma Casters. And I like this mural, which is, of course, one of the free things that have recently come out of the Atom shop. And over here, Lion is almost always part of my camp. He has a certain nobility to him, and he guards my camp. And I like cats. So, let me see here. Here we have the Vault Boy again. As the Vault Boy was looking at the flamingos and the fountain, now we have the Vault Boy looking up at the Vault Tag flag as if he is pledging allegiance to it. So currently I'm living in not America. And for 4th of July, I had the American flag up here, and I got griefed, I think, more than usual. People sometimes spawn into my camp, and I'll see somebody, the marker, you can see where people are, and I'll see somebody around my camp just, by chance, and then when I spawn in, they'll be hiding in some little area, maybe back here, while, ghouls and things that have run out of here are just, destroying my camp. So that happened a little bit more often when I had the American flag up there. But this character is the Mechanist. So the Mechanist's true allegiance is, I think, more along the lines with Vault Tech and technology than anything else. Over here, these things were a real pain to get in the base. I guess if I wanted to save some budget, maybe this is one of the things that could go. But I really like this area here. Previously, I did not have a lot of foundations. Eventually, I ended up flattening this out and having this level area with foundations and kind of there's no foundation underneath that, but because of the way the land moves, I think most people would, if they're just engrossed in the game, it seems like, oh, there is a foundation, but it's just the fact that Earth has been eroding down over the foundation. But nonetheless, even though I never use that artillery piece, I think it is a a great part of the camp, and it fits in. And I've managed to power it just barely. Maybe if I spun it around, but I can't because of this guy. Yeah, but fitting these things in, maybe that's one of the reasons I keep it here, is because getting it here was so difficult. Well, now it's easy, I guess. But previously, trying to fit these particular pieces in this little area, first this one and then the flag, it's a real pain. And again, you see this power line, this looks natural. So even though this power is running from my generator, of course, because of the street lights and the power poles, it's as if the power is running from, you know, alongside the street and then running from there to my camp. So you don't get this kind of ugly where are all these lines and why they are there. Again, you see nobody. It seems natural. It seems part of the environment. It's not just some tangled mess of power lines. Let me see here. What am I doing? Yeah. So we're gonna go into the base. Right now, I guess I have the Bloody Chef and the Arctos Lab coat on him. He sits here on this chair. Sometimes he sits down there, and if I want to take a rest, I'll sit here. And this is now what I have left of the bars that I had previously in the builds. Just this smaller area where I can put the brewing station in the fermenter and make it look like it's part of a natural build, a real living area. And the old possum light here, and this is one of the newer free things in the Atom shop. I really like these trash cans. I think they just look cleaner than most of the other items in the camps, as well as this marble bench. Uh-oh. It's not straight. It's not straight. Right. That's straight. And again, if you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with the rug technique. So to get this thing in here, of course, if you just try to slap these brewing stations down here. And I do like this. I wish there was a Nuka Shine fermenter. Maybe there is and I missed it. That'd be really nice. Nuka Shine fermenter with the brewing station. Even though the fermenter doesn't look too bad. Yeah, the Nuka Shine brewing station is a nice touch. That was definitely one of the things that I wanted to get from the Atom shop. Yeah, we have the...
hoping for a pension, but all I got is tension.
I've heard that enough. I might have to change him out. Better than the guitar player. My God. If you're busy at the camp like I am, that guitar player, it had to go. God, you can only take the same song. You know, I think after 100 times, it starts to induce frustration. Yeah, but the rug technique prevents the brewing station, all these other things, from snapping up there instead of snapping down there. You'll see the rug technique in a lot of builds. I wish I had a better rug, and this rug looks really bad with the other foundations. So putting the rug on top of this foundation looks really ugly. But I really like this tile. This is one of the things that's hard to get from the Atom shop. It's not a persistent item. I was lucky. I was happy to get this. I wouldn't say lucky because obviously there's no luck involved. It's a coordinated rarity. But yeah, I really do like these. This floor here, so you'll see if it weren't for the fact that the black and white Red Rocket or Slocum Joe's floor was so expensive, that's what I would have in here is the black and white floor, normal kind of concrete foundations, some tile here, wood. I had different wood for this area and for this area, but it looked a little bit tacky, a little bit strange. So making all these the same wood, and then back here the tile again for the kitchen and the bathroom. So here we have kind of moving into the house. Of course, the Nuka-Cola neon sign. That's one of the, in my opinion, one of the prettier camp items. And moving in here, I do want to kind of state my appreciation for this. The white picket fences with sloped roofs, I think, provide a nice, good bunker feeling. I never use this way because I'm always out here shooting at stuff. But I like the design. Perhaps if you could do one house and then run it all the way around and have more of a bunker type feeling. But I do like the white picket fence, sloped roofs, and then having this entryway directly into the house. It's directive and welcoming to visitors. Of course, here, this is one of the things that I saw in other camps, and I thought, man, I want that for my camp. So this vanity picked up from whatever it's called, White Spring. And here I feel that there's the sun, and it feels a little bit kind of maybe like a throne with kind of a ball and a light. As you know, reminds me of kind of the pictures of the religious pictures with kind of the staff with the ball and a light of sun. I've tried to put this guy up here, but it just never fit right. Didn't light the area correctly. Yeah, moving in here to the base. One of the things that I've done differently from my previous build that I really like, I've seen a lot of builds. I've worked on builds a lot, and I think having a smaller build with as many interesting items is a lot more appealing than trying to make it big and complex. So, unlike my previous builds, one of the things that I wanted to do is have smaller inside rooms that are distinct and give a feel of a house that is lived in. And I think I've accomplished that. And you might be wondering, you know, how do you have different wallpapers in this house? And you'll see, even though it's a little bit buggy, the trick is to have 2 walls. And hopefully I have enough budget to play with this. So if you do that, you can't, you know, just snap that. I don't think you can, at least. Just directly. But, if you use a door, then that also doesn't work.
Respect isn't that hard to come by.
But see, that also doesn't work. On there. There you go. So the trick is to get those, if you want to have interior walls that have different wallpapers, instead of having a wallpaper here and an ugly outside here, the trick is to use a steel door and then a wooden door, and then you can You know, I don't know why you would, because if you're just doing wallpaper and wallpaper, I don't know, I guess maybe the top of it might be different. Then you can switch these out to whatever you want. Or if you kind of want to have like a wallpaper and brick or whatever to kind of be like a door's been bricked up. I think some people do that with displays. Maybe they put the display in the door, and then they change the door to a wall, and that kind of that is a workaround. Yeah. If you want the separate rooms with distinct wallpapers, that's a trick. Steel door, wood door, then you can replace it with whatever you want. So let's get rid of that. So, yeah, we have distinct rooms coming in here. You see the wooden wallpaper out here, the flower in here, the Mothman barn, Mothman kind of typical wallpaper, and the new part of the legend, whatever run it is the glow in the dark wallpaper. So smaller inside, but more interesting and more of a lived-in feel, more practical feel. So we have the entryway. Maybe come in here. I wish you could sit on this. You know, check yourself out before you leave, or put some things. Maybe you put some shoes in there. Sit here, put your shoes on, check your tie, go out in the world, whatever. Of course, here we can sit down. Not necessarily sit down like that. And of course, some of the other Atom Shop purchases. I usually just try to catch stuff on sale, things that I like. I really like these modern chandelier, and I think that fits in with this wallpaper and the Nuka hedge. And then here, the mid-century disc light works well with the red enamel. I'm not sure if there's, I guess that's what got busted, is my power up there.
Oh, pardon me.
What is busted? Power, power, power. Got power running up here. Ah, there it is. Oh, there's a power radiator. So why can't I activate that? Maybe I moved the power radiator. I redid the power up there. Maybe that's why this clock isn't working. There. Is that close enough? Huh?
I should write about it.
There we go. Yeah, I redid the power up there. Well, this light works. Oh, the light worked, but that wouldn't work over here. Maybe that's the distance. But anyways, wallpapers. I really like the Mothman barn wallpaper, and I think it fits in really nicely with the kitchen because we've got the red enamel stove, the red light, and back here maybe as if there was red paint, but there's been so much cooking in here, the grease and the oil has kind of smudged up, and the woods absorbed all the oils of the cooking. So I wanted this wallpaper for the kitchen to fit in with the red enamel and the red lights. I wish I could redo this chemistry station in red. I'm not sure if I've seen any at all. I don't remember any chem station camp stuff in the Atom Shop. And of course, varying the doors. This looks like a kitchen kind of dining door, so that fits well with the area, the dining area, into the kitchen. Again, I really like this tile. Of course, tile is fitting floor for kitchens and bathrooms. And the fridge right here that I never use. Sometimes I use it if I have a lot of rad stag steaks. If I've got 6 or 8, that's what I run with to increase my carry weight. I don't eat anything else. Carnivore, rad stag, unless I'm playing around with different benefits. So if I do make a bunch of rad stag steaks, I'll throw half of them in here, but I hardly ever use it. This is one of my favorite parts of the base is the rad shower. So again, I've redone the power and I thought it was right, but apparently that light didn't work there. But the power runs along the top, and if I redid this build, I might put the power underneath the walls somewhere, because if you do it right, you can run the power underneath the walls, and then they're hidden and they're protected. But right now they're on top. I don't want to undo all this stuff, obviously, to run the power down there. And of course, power radiators here, that's what's lighting up the inside. And here, this little connector running down into the bathroom to power the rad shower. But my favorite part of that is, one, the discreteness of the power connector, and 2, how it prevents people from running into the rad shower, and 3, the fact that it looks like a shower in a bathroom. So we've got a again, many people, when they build their camp, they'll have their rad shower, and most people are nice, and so they do a power switch, or they make it very apparent, don't run into the rad shower, because as many players know, if you're not cautious, it can take away your mutations. It can, if you're running bloodied, whatever. I mean, you guys probably know this. You don't want to run into a rad shower unintentionally, even though most of the time it's beneficial. So the fact that you don't unintentionally do it. The only way that it could unintentionally happen is if one person closes that door and another person's running around my base, and they're like, and they somehow make it in there. But I've never seen these doors closed. I do like these doors. So again, you see a variation of things in the base, different doors. Here, this sign is fitting, right? And it blocks this area. If this sign was not here, you could still go straight in here. So you have to run in here, hit that, get in there. And this works because this distance right here is almost exactly, well, apparently it is exactly the distance, just enough for these doors to open and block it. So again, this is one of my favorite things in the base, because prevents players from getting in there. It doesn't have a lot of weird wires. You don't need like a power switch and signs, and well, I do have a sign, but it's discreet and it's functional and it fits in and it looks like a shower, because now we have a bathroom. My magazine rack, where did it go? There we go. So we have a magazine rack, a toilet, a clean sink. This is a nice thing from the Atom shop recently. Of course, I would never do it I would never use it if I need a lot of water. Is like, again, as I said, if you're watching this, you probably know it's not the most efficient way to get water. But if I need it in a pinch, if I need 1 or 2 waters to make boiled water, there it is, a magazine rack for something for you to read as you sit on the John Who. I'd really like a clean toilet that you could sit on. Maybe you could get some sort of XP benefit, maybe like well-fed, well-evacuated, a bowel movement bowler. I don't know what you could do with it, but anyways, you could have a clean toilet that you could actually use. Before I started doing this video, what I had actually done is I grabbed this toilet and took it out, put it on a rug, and then put the tiniest chair on top of it, because if it gets destroyed and you repair it via the camp menu, it might just go, you might be able to sit on the chair as if you're sitting on the toilet. So it's kind of explain that here we have my camp as if it's inside the stash box. So that's one of the things that I really like. If you put the my camp on top of your stash box and it gets destroyed, which it will if you play like me, then when you repair it, the camp will fall into the stash box. So I like how this is. I haven't moved it. I haven't corrected it because I like that. It looks interesting. Oh, I don't want to build. You know, it's kind of hidden in there. You can even see it when you open up the stash box. Hey, so that's actually a whoever made that stash box, how it opens, you can still see the inside. That's good on you. Yeah, so I thought about trying to do the same thing with a chair on top of here. So I took the toilet and the chair and I ran it outside, lured a ghoul to try to get him to destroy it so that I could repair it and try to enmesh a chair inside there. And it was too difficult, so I stopped. So yeah, we have a nice little bathroom here with a rad shower. And then here's the kind of bedroom living area. So if you come in here, you see the nice glow-in-the-dark wallpaper. It's the daytime, so there's not a lot of glowing in the dark. But of course, the map, some signs. Like I said, this character, kind of things associated with him: the Silver Shroud, Mr. Pebbles, Mechanist, Mothman. Because this is a sneaky VATS, crits, all weapons. Well, yeah, all weapons. I don't really use melee anymore, and I don't have hardly any strength, but I could, maybe. I could still throw on the melee perks, at least, get that extra 30%. So that's this character build here. So we have Mr. Pebbles here, watching TV with his bunny friend, enjoying whatever, and Mr. Pebbles looking up here to Mr. Pebbles, and Mr. Pebbles, like I said, I've tried having something shiny around here, as if we've got Mr. Pebbles, looking at Mr. Pebbles, and Mr. Pebbles entranced by a shiny thing, as cats are entranced by. And of course here, I could very easily fill this up many times over, but that costs budget. So I think this is a natural place for the Vault Boy next to the Vault display, and the only things that I've included up here are things that I actually use. So I think that's agility, perception, sneak, big guns, science. I don't know why. Is that locksmith? Let's change that. I'm not sure why. I think I just put locksmith up there because maybe caps would be better. I don't have endurance. I don't have charisma. Maybe explosive. I do use explosive weapons, but I don't run with grenades. Small guns, maybe. I don't use pistols, though. Yeah, so I think that's why I'll just put that up there. Who doesn't like caps? That's why I had the lockpick. I think it was just an extra thing. Yeah, these fit with my character. Kind of mechanist, VATS, sneak, crit build that I can use all weapons with. And of course, big guns and energy guns are the best. So that's usually what I'm running with. So we have a little living area here. Some cleanness, of course, running through all the different things you can decorate your camp with. That's what I've included. Let's see here. And of course, up here, one of the newer things, crane. Treasure hunting. Again, fitting in with this design as if it's a road stop shop along the highway where somebody lives and sells kind of things that travelers need. So having the big sign up there and the Nuka-Cola sign here, that works well. If I had more budget, of course, what I would do is make these into floors, hide the power, have a bigger roof. I don't know what I would put up here. Have a better back porch. So you'll notice the back porch. That's one of the things that need. So here you'll notice the reason I have this and this here is just because this seam here is really ugly. So I try to limit that seam by putting these displays here and the plant here. This is one of my favorite Atom Shop camp things. I like the Mothman and some of the other items. It's pretty. It's interesting. And of course the Vault-Tec floor here. I would put more Vault-Tec stuff back here in this stair, and I would just change out this whole thing up here into more floors. But I'm guessing that this stairs is cheaper than having a staircase and floors running out. I could be wrong. I would like to be wrong. But, I'm not sure. That needs to be repaired. What else do I need to repair? Oh, the garbage sale signs. Yeah, so thanks scorchbeast. So we got the back porch. These are up here. The vault staircases, I like them. They're nice and clean. Kind of interesting that you got a lot of area to run up. They do fit well with a white picket fence. You can, if you try to do this, you can just put the white picket fence out and open the gate, and then the staircase will snap right there. So this back porch works well because of the vault staircase, the white picket fence, the vault floor. If I had more kind of vaulty stuff, I might put it back here, but I haven't spent a lot of time figuring out how exactly I want to decorate this area. Mostly because, it's always a question of budget, and this is not an area that's a focus of the visitors. Visitors, they come in, they find the workbenches, they find the vending machine. So as soon as they spawn in here, normally it's just what they do is they, figure out, okay, where am I? Where are the vending machines? Maybe they see, okay, there's an arrow. I run around. Okay. What's going on? Vending machines. There they are. They hit up the vending machines. And then by then, if they're interested, then they'll look around at the different stuff. And they'll find it interesting. So, back here, not a lot of thought put into this back porch, even though it's not bad. This, however, is I think a good solution. I believe it works. So the problem of putting the missile turret just right here on the corner is I don't feel, or I assume that it would be a difficult angle to get stuff that's just right there. So if you slap one of these down here, this does a pretty good job of, I don't know if it's because of this, does a pretty good job of still getting stuff that's along this wall. So throwing this, the tire and the turret here gives it an added benefit to get things on both sides. And of course we've got a spotlight up there on top of the sign that as usual does not work. I'm hungry again. I should throw on that perk, but I don't really want to. All right. So here the top spotlight. I do think the spotlights help, even though they're fairly close to the missile turrets. I do think they help quite a bit in actually targeting things that come in. It seems as if the missile turrets act a bit faster. So having spotlight around the base helps out a lot. And then finally, coming around here, I really like these red rocket power pylons. I would use the smaller connectors more often. So you'll see just right there, and I think maybe one more place inside. Yeah, right there. So I really like these red rocket. The alternative is does not. Ugh, I had a different setup with the power because I was avoiding the kind of wooden thing. It was not very attractive. Whereas I think this red rocket power connector here sitting on top of the bungalow looks natural. Looks, you know, fitting with the bungalow. A little bit fancier, a little bit cleaner. And that runs out to the invisible spotlight. Wonder where it is. Yeah, I'd have to tear this down. Or store it, you know. Store it, bring it back up, and rebuild it. I don't really feel like it. So here we are, the bungalow and the power connectors. This is one of the things that I took a while to do, is cleaning up all the power connectors, making it as efficient as possible, so you don't have power lines running around and being in the way and making the camp look ugly. So having this, you know, the generator here, things are fairly nice and clean, running around to these different things, and this running out to the water purifiers again. This is just, I don't think I'll ever change this if I do new builds. Beware, if you steal my water, the curse of the Wendigo. I don't care. I never run out of water. So yeah, again, one of the things that I like about the power connectors is that, well, right now I got to fix my base, but if I were to scrap this, it wouldn't matter for this missile turret or anything else in the base, because the power runs from the generator out this way and out that way, and so you have a loop going all the way around. So if something gets busted in the middle of the loop, there's still power running from the other direction of the loop. So that's nice and clean. The power's clean, running out of the generator here and out of the generator over there, and somewhat neat around there. I thought I almost always had to use these to get past walls, until I figured out that I could run these things underneath the walls. So here, powering the garage door, it's just a matter of you know, running the power down underneath the wall, and then this nice snakes around here nicely. And there's not, I don't think there are any just straight up and down power connectors. And to the extent that we have straight up and down power connectors, they don't play well with the elevation of the walls, I feel. So if I ran, I had previously that this piece over here, but it was cleaner just to do this downward down here and snake this around. So again, nice clean power. Things aren't dangling and tangled and icky and making things look messy. Ugh. Yeah, I've heard enough of him. I'm gonna have to switch him out soon. So now the bungalow, in my opinion, is just an excellent thing for your workbenches. Here, coming in here again, you'll see the rug technique. So if you just try to put these workbenches down inside the bungalow, they will snap here on top consistently. So the rug technique helps out with that. And here, I always try to incorporate the bear rug. I think it's, again, one of the prettier camp items. Adds a touch of interesting things.
Attention, citizens.
chopping that meat.
Imminent.
I almost always try to include this as well.
Please exit the area at your earliest convenience.
Let's see if I can make this do this thing.
Thank you for your cooperation.
I had this up here, and this does this really interesting thing if it snaps weird. Yeah. And sometimes it'll just be like it'll be really fast, and it'll be sometimes it'll be like la, 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 really wobbly. Right now it's just really fast. So that's if you want a seizure, or if you want to give your visitors seizures, you could do that, and then maybe throw up a strobe light or something. But I don't particularly like that, and it's really difficult to see the strobe. It doesn't look natural, and I like to include this in my builds, so it's here in the bungalow. Even though I do have the tripod lamp, which is another one of the things that I really like in the Atom shop, and it works well with the bungalow because it's kind of a to-go lamp. If I had a bungalow, if I had a traveling thing, this would be an excellent lamp to go with me. And sitting here, I wish you could lounge here. Or you just sit down. And you see the area. Nice view out north along the road. Yeah, so bungalow, excellent thing for workbenches. You can fit in these workbenches in these little corners here. Threw in the, whatever that thing, terminal's called, stash box. Yeah. So, this is the, I think I've covered most of the base. Let's see if you guys want to. This is going to be it. I'm going to talk about my character after I go hunt this scorchbeast. But if you guys want to see a scorchbeast fight, I guess, and I'll do another video on my character as I progress forward. But if you're not interested in watching a scorchbeast fight, I would suggest, going ahead and not watching this, as it will likely be very buggy every time I jump into these fights. Almost every time. It's pretty hectic. It's simply because all the players, and I'm not sure if it's my out of the way, no. My computer, or if it's just the game. I'm sure a lot of other players have troubles with the scorchbeast fight. Oops. That's a real person. All right. Oh. All right. What are you doing? Oh, back home. Like I said, very convenient base location for the scorchbeast fights. All right. Well, I'm going to head back to base. Have a visitor? Oh. Let's see what he has to say to me. Your mama's so fat. She sits around the house. She
Target
really is. Okay.
acquired. I saw your camp today. Great start. Now that you've gathered all that junk into random clumps of structure, when does the real construction begin? Nailed it.
Yeah. I saw a Spanish magician once. He went out on stage
Report.
and he said,
Unit
Uno,
attempted to decorate
dos,
with a Rudolph
and he disappeared
failure
without a trace.
feature.
So, here we have the base. And is that another scorchbeast? What's that? I'm going to take a moment and stop this video. And the next video will be on my character. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed my base introduction, and maybe you've at least, I guess the only thing of real value, if you didn't already know, is the knowing how to do these interior walls, and perhaps this interesting way solution for the rad shower. And maybe you've thought about some interesting ways, or it's inspired you to
Never give up. Just keep doing it.
make your base a little bit more interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next video on my character. Bye-bye.